What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess, and today's another full day of eating keto while tracking total carbs. For the month of August, I am doing a total carb challenge where I'm only tracking total net carbs, 20 total carbs per day. In the last, last 15 or so months of my journey, I have only tracked net carbs. So this is the first time for me, and it makes it a challenge and it makes it fun. So this is week 3, and tonight's dinner is going to be a Tex Mex skillet where I'm going to season the ground beef with Tex Mex Seasoning, chop up some peppers and onions, and enjoy over a bed of some lettuce. So, but the cool thing is with my busy schedule, virtually teaching my children for the first 3 weeks of their school year, I need to prep some lunches because I don't even have time to prep lunches anymore because my kids eat at different times, even though they're virtually at home. They are just squeezing in time for me to eat. It was really challenging last week. So this week, I'm planning ahead, and I came up with some recipes to meal plan lunch or meal prep lunch. So I'm gonna use the same seasoning on the ground beef and take half of it out and use it for lunches this week. So I've got a great recipe coming up that's gonna use this ground beef, and it's gonna be Tex Mex baked eggs. So that'll be a nice easy lunch that I can meal prep, and so that my lunches are ready to go. I can just gobble it and keep teaching my kids. So anyway, so this is gonna be kind of like a bonus recipe, and that you'll refer back to this video or something if you want to know the seasoning. So I got the Tex Mex seasoning from dietdoctor.com. I'll put the link down below. I'm going to make a bunch of this Mexican Tex Mex seasoning up at once because I like to make my own taco seasoning and stuff like that. So I don't buy store-bought ones. It's so easy to make. So I'm gonna triple, maybe even quadruple this recipe and put it all up in here so that when I make any type of fajita, Tex-Mex, Mexican, anything or a taco salad, I'll have it already ready to go, and I just take from this and season. So I highly urge you to get a mason jar and make this this seasoning blend up in bulk. So, and that's another tip. And so anyways, I'm gonna grab the ingredients that we need, head on over to the stove, and we'll, and then I'll start making this delicious Tex-Mex skillet. Okay, so here is lunch today. I threw a little bit, like a teaspoon worth of sriracha hot sauce on top of my eggs. So, and then seeing how that, when you cook them like that, it makes them fluffy. I kind of like a Gordon Ramsay style. I got fancy, and then obviously 3 slices of bacon. Okay, so we're gonna make the Tex-Mex seasoning. Now, why do we wanna make our own Tex-Mex seasoning? Well, here we have a McCormick taco seasoning. You think it's all good and all until you turn it over, and what does it say in the back? Sugar, right there, sugar. So sorry, my label's peeling off, but sugar. So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, this little bit probably wouldn't make that big of a difference, but when you're tracking total carbs, or you're seeing a stall in the scale and you can't figure out why, it's little things like that add up. So I'm going to basically times this recipe by 5. I have enough spices here, and I like to make big bulk batches up at each time. So the first one is chili powder. So I'm gonna do 5 tablespoons of chili powder. Okay, the next one is paprika. I buy my paprika in bulk because my store has it, but any old paprika will find. This smoked paprika will have a different taste. This one is not smoked. So like I said, this is, I'm multiplying this recipe by 5. So this normally, for one of these recipes, you would do 2 teaspoons, so instead I'm doing 10. The next one we're gonna do is cumin. Same thing, times this by 5. The normal recipe calls for 2 teaspoons, so we're gonna put 10. 10. And the next one is garlic powder, and it's 1 teaspoon, so in this case we're gonna do 5 teaspoons. 5. Same thing with onion powder. 5 more. 5. All right, chili flakes, half teaspoon. So dried oregano, half teaspoon. Black pepper, 1. 5. Salt, 1. 5. Ground cinnamon. And cloves. All right, and that is all there is to it. Just gonna put the lid on here. And shake it up. And there you have it, ready to go. And you basically want to do about 1 to 2 tablespoons of this mix or spice blend per pound of meat. So now let's start the meat. Okay, so now we're gonna ground up the beef. I have 3.5 pounds of ground beef here. So I'm just gonna put this in the pan and use my meat tenderizer and get it all ground up and browned. And then we'll season it when it's about almost coming together. So I'm gonna do this, and let me wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna strain some of the fat out, just because for the recipes that I'm using, I don't need all of that extra. It's not bad. I'm not getting rid of it because I don't want to eat fat or something. It's just that I don't need it in this recipe. So I'm just going to strain a little bit of it out. Okay, so now we're going to take the spice blend, and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons in here and taste what that tastes like. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to do 4. This is a 2 tablespoon measuring device here. So I'm going to do 4 tablespoons, mix that around, and see how that tastes. Because I want it just right, I want it good and seasoned, and I may need more, I may need less, you know. But for this was 3.5 pounds, I had 4 tablespoons of that blend. It smells really good. Turn them. And that's why you want to make your own blend. You have so much more control over what goes in there. And if you want it sweetened, you just use your keto approved sweetener. Okay, I'm going to do another 2 more, and that should be perfect. So it'd be 6 total tablespoons of the spice blend per 3.5 pounds. So that's my flavor. But this way, when I make that spice blend up, I'll create a recipe in Carb Manager, and this way I'll be able to get the carb count, because without that many spices, it will probably be about 1, maybe 2 net carbs. I'm sorry, total carbs added. All right, so now all we're gonna do is take half of this out, put it in the other bowl that we're gonna use for leftovers, and the rest will be for tonight's dinner. All right, so that's about half. And half we keep, and half we're saving for tomorrow. Okay, so I took the rest of it out of the pan, set it aside. And next we have a pound of green peppers and a ½ pound of white onion. We're just gonna saute this up, and then we're gonna throw the meat right back in here and top it with cheese, and that's how easy it is. So I'll be back when this is sauteed. Adding some pink salt and a little pepper. Okay, so our veggies are nice and sauteed. So at this point, All I did was add salt and pepper, and I'm gonna add the meat right back into the bowl. And make sure you get all that yummy juice. You don't want to lose any of that flavor. It's the good stuff right there. Give it a stir, let it come together for another minute or two, and then you're going to take it out, and I will show you the next step. Okay, so now it's time to plate it. I have about a half serving of just shredded lettuce. It's for the plate presentation, if you will. Totally optional. The next thing is we're going to divvy up 4 servings in here. And then we're going to top it with some cheese, also optional. So I'm going to just use the Mexican blend. Measure your cheese. And I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup, which is the serving size for 1 total carb. And I'm just going to put that right on top. And let it melt. And then once that's all melty, we'll be back for the close-up. And there it is. All right, and there you have it. Nice and melty. Cheese, onions, ground beef, and a little lettuce. There you have the Keto Tex Mex skillet. Okay, so here's the macros for today. 13 of 19 total carbs, 86 of the 119 grams of fat, 102 grams, a little over on my protein, not really worried about that, and 1,250 calories. Breakfast, or I should say lunch, was 3 eggs and a tablespoon of butter. I used a pan and I whisked those 2 together, and then I put sriracha on the top. I see my bacon is missing, so we're going to go ahead and add the bacon. And let's see, here it is. I had 3 slices. Okay, so that's on there. And then Tex-Mex skillet, I had 1 1/4 servings, and I put it over shredded iceberg lettuce, and I see I'm also missing my cheese. So I'm going to search the cheese that I got. Kirkland Mexican cheese. And that's it. And I had 1/3 of a cup. I think that says, yeah, 1/3. Add it today. So that changed my macros just slightly, not too big of a deal. But don't forget to add it on there. And then last but not least, the keto coffee, which is unflavored collagen, coffee, and heavy cream. So all in all, there is my macros for the day. Alrighty, well I hope you enjoyed this full day of eating. Comment below if you like recipes like this. If you are enjoying week 3 of the Keto Rewind Total Carb Challenge. So I hope you're benefiting it as much as I have been. I have noticed a lot of changes while tracking total carbs. It comes down to everything adds up so quick. So it's definitely a challenge, and I'm glad I've done this. So, but for permanently, I don't know if I'll be continuing after this month total carbs. I liked the net carb approach. It gave me a little bit more wiggle room. But anyways, all is well, and I will see you tomorrow at another full day of eating keto. I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye.